Good afternoon, Los Angeles Prepper here with another quick global politics video. Just checking out an article, and I'll read the headline for you. Iran and Turkey agree to use national currencies in trade to cut dependence on euro and the dollar. So, why is this important to a prepper? Is it important? Economic collapse is something that, one of the myriad of things that, preppers kind of have on their list of things that can go wrong. And I'm not going to say, an article like this points to certain economic collapse or something. That's a pretty broad reaching, hypothesis. But it's important to understand that what the global market currently uses predominantly, at least for the last several decades, has been the petrodollar or the US dollar as it's sort of tied to the U.S. dollar and it's kind of as it's related to oil. So, what the significance of this is that the more other countries use their own currency to trade with each other, the less that they need U.S. dollars. So, when other countries don't need to use US dollars, there's less demand for US dollars. And, I'm not going to get into a big complex, monetary policy economic video, but it does have ramifications on the global market, especially when you see things like, and I know it's a little hard to read, but it says here, this is Erdogan, Turkey's leader. It says Turkey's Erdogan urges Russia, China, and Iran to trade in local currencies. So what we're seeing is that not only is, this country, for Turkey, for example, working with Iran to trade in national currencies, but they're telling other countries, hey, you guys should trade in your own currencies too. We don't need the US dollar. We can trade, in the yuan. We can trade in the ruble. We can trade in the, what are their units of currency? The reals and liras. I think reals are Iranian. Okay, Iranian reals and Turkish liras. I'm not up on my global currencies, I'm afraid. But at any rate, so, is this going to be something that causes, overnight panic in the markets? No, probably not. But it's important to understand that in light of recent major political events like Gaddafi, and if you go back a little bit further, Saddam, one thing that some Americans, probably a lot of Americans, don't realize is that by and large, those leaders brought a lot of strength to Africa. They had a very unifying effect. Even though there were certain qualities about them and certain issues with how they ran the country that a lot of different groups wouldn't approve of. The fact is that both of them were trying to, and Gaddafi especially really talked about this a lot, trying to strengthen and unify Africa and to get Africa to move away from American independence and, economically, security wise. So I don't think that America is all of a sudden going to denounce Turkey as, this terrible thing that we need to overthrow Erdogan or anything like that. But the point is, the more these other countries move to sort of break off from the hegemony that the petrodollar has enjoyed and the positive effect that that has had on our economy thus far, it's starting to slowly get whittled away. So, how is the U.S. going to respond to this? How should a prepper respond to this? Well, I don't know there's much that an individual prepper can do to change, how the presidents of countries, leaders of countries, um, make or create, their trade deals. But just something I thought I would share. Feel free to comment if you think, what kind of effects you think this might have on the U.S. economy and the global economy. Do you think this is going to start a trend of foreign countries trying to move away from the dollar? Do you think the trend is already taking place? Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.